sweet to me. You're so sweet to me. The things you're doing to my mind, I want you to do to my body. Giving me what I need. That's what you got to do. Giving me what I need. That's what you got to do.
What is the deal, Raider Nation? You are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown. And today, the episode you are watching is a pre-recorded episode. Hope everybody had a great Christmas, man. I know I did. We will be back live pretty soon. But you already know what I say, man. Make sure you guys are always tapping on that like and tapping on the subscribe button for your boy, man. So without further ado, man, let's get into the intro. Let's get into the video. Raiders versus Saints pregame rundown. Peace. What is the deal, man? What is happening? What is going on, man? You are back for another episode here of the Raider Rundown, man. Make sure you guys are hitting on all them buttons, hitting on the like at the very least, and tapping on the subscribe button if you're feeling what you're hearing at the same time, man. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and touch on that Raiders versus Saints matchup we got this weekend. Obviously, a win last weekend put us out of the tank sweepstakes, right? And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But still hope. Today won't be a super long episode. Like I said, this is a pre-recorded episode, but maybe not be the full hour, but we will just touch on a little bit of the Saints, a little bit what happened last game, and kind of what's in play for the future. So without further ado, man, you already know how we usually would start a Raider Rundown show, man, with the roll call, shouting out everybody in the chat. But man, regardless of it, man, I appreciate everybody that is here, that is tuning in, that is watching your boy, man, taking the time out their day to go ahead and tap in with the Raider Rundown. So make sure you guys still comment down below on everything that we talking about, right? And make sure that, you go ahead and voice your opinions as well, man. It's a very frustrating season, so it's probably not worth it without us really, really voicing how we feel about the shit. You know what I mean? So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into one of the first segments then of the show, which would be get into the Raider Recess, man. If you don't know what that is, your first time here, that is when we go ahead and share and go over some of the recent Raider news that has happened from last week to this week. And usually we go on Wednesdays, but seeing as though yesterday was Christmas, we was off, so we got just a little more news and a little more injury reports and things like that to look at. But first and foremost, we're gonna go ahead and start it off like this. All right, now if you guys were here last week, when I did my, post-game rundown with Cheeto last week after the Jaguars game, you could tell I was hot, right? I was hot, and rightfully so, bro. Like, to me, this is no win to celebrate. This is no win to be happy over. This is nothing, to be honest with you, right? And honestly, and we'll talk about this a little later, I honestly feel this win doesn't mean anything if you don't keep AP. It makes no sense. The win makes no sense. Even him, even him winning out the end of the year, right? If the plan from the tippy top is, and we probably gonna let him go anyway, then what the hell is the point of him winning all these games and giving your coach, newly acquired coach, a worse draft order? But oh well, here we are, right? We the tank is gone. You X that out, right? And probably this pissed him off on I'm gonna be real with you, bro. The sign right here, and I'm not talking about, the guy in general or whatever the case, but just, the sign and the outright willingness to say, like, all right, bro, like, we're tanking, the season's a lie, or the season's a wash. I think it pissed him off in the organization to see that on national television against the Falcons. I really do. I really think within the organization that might have pissed a couple people off. And, going in here, they said the hell with the tank at that point. And at the same time, I do attribute, us looking like we don't know what the hell we're doing to the tippy top being so wishy-washy on opinions, right? And when I talk about the tippy top, everybody should know who I'm talking about. Every year, some new, newfangled goddamn right-hand man and shit like that. Like, it's a wonder, right? When you're in your workplace, the workplace takes on the personality and the traits of the boss, correct? Like, that's just managers wherever you're at, bro. You be working at Target, you be working at fucking Pizza Hut. Same shit. You know what I mean? It's all the same thing. It's still, bro, we are sitting here, right? And it's going to take traits from the top. And from the top, it's look like we are undecisive. We don't know what we want to do. And it shows on the field. And the product on the field shows that, right? So you can see what AP says, right? Go ask Tom Telesco, when asked about the win over the Jags. But let's go ahead and listen to it, man.
Coach, for the part of Raider Nation that is focused on the first overall draft pick conversation, what is your response to them?
But that's real. Honestly, to me, that's real, bro. Yeah, go talk to Tom, because as of right now, bro, this isn't what they told me, that our jobs are different. They're not mutually exclusive, right? The jobs are not mutually exclusive. So he didn't say anything wrong, in my opinion, where it's like we got to go up in arms. No, go talk to Tom. If you want to talk about the draft and our job, and it really doesn't seem like they have that type of relationship anyway. Where it's like they're real close and buddy. Like, I feel like they have a good working relationship. I'm not trying to say anything like that, but I do think that they're not buddy or anything like that. So when it comes to just work is work, bro. Like, we're not gonna hang outside of this or whatever the case. And that's what happens. You know what I mean? When you have coworkers of that merit. But yeah, I don't see anything wrong with what he said, but what I do see wrong, right? And we just touched on it a little bit, and this is what makes me mad. This right here, I didn't really like hearing, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. Go ahead, pull this up. That is Mark Davis congratulating the players in the locker room after the win. Per Tashawn Reed, Mark Davis was in the locker room congratulating players, smiling from ear to ear, yelling, "Way to fight." And you know, way to get a win. So I'm gonna tell you why this pisses me off, and I'm gonna tell you why the thing that I just said about AP a while ago, where this win only makes sense if you keep him. These two things are mutually exclusive, bro. Because once again, I continue to say the tippy top seems so wishy-washy on what direction it wants to go, right? And now, and we'll talk about this as well. Now you're starting to hear rumors, reports, whatever the case, however you want to take it, but you're starting to hear little tidbits. Mike Vrabel to the Raiders, Vrabel to the Raiders, Vrabel to the Raiders, right? You know, it could be from some of these sites on Twitter like ML Football or, you know, goddamn, whatever the case, right? Dov Kleiman, I think that's his damn name. I think, you know, it's from some of these sites, but it's a lot of them, right? It's a lot of them, and it's all different sites, right? And I know some of these sites that do, you know, that we sometimes discredit because they do be posting some bullshit, but at the same time, some of these sites don't really fuck with each other, right? But they're all posting the same thing, so it's not like they're chitter-chattering and they're saying, all right, bro, we're gonna go ahead and, you know, we're gonna all get together and post this damn information. No. Some of these sites actually really don't fuck with each other, right? Because you got to understand, it's all content. They all trying to be first at what the fuck they're reporting, even if it's bullshit. They don't care, but they're all trying to be first, right? So where I take account is, I'm not saying, I still hope that AP does have a chance to retain his job, but I've told y'all for I don't know how long, right? Like the writing is damn near on the wall, which makes me mad, right? Which makes me mad. The writing is damn near on the wall because it was already decided long ago that the writing was already on the wall. But from there, all right, you hearing all these reports that, you know, Vrabel might come in. Okay, sure. That'd be great if Vrabel did come in here. But once again, what would piss me off is that you're over here voting confidence after a meaningless win, right? Let's be real. Meaningless win. All right. So we're in the locker room. We're congratulating players. We're doing all these things. We're probably telling AP, hey, man, good shit. Say if you win this week, same thing. He's probably to the moon, right? Happy as hell. But then knowing all along that you're going to fire this man at the end makes 0 sense. 0 sense with this win, bro. None of it makes sense. If you know from the jump, like, all right, bro, I'm probably going to let this dude go at the end of the year. Going in there, voting confidence to some of these players, voting confidence to some of these coaches that probably are not getting their jobs back next year makes 0 sense in the whole grand scheme of things, right? Because now we're happy, we're congratulating, we're saying all this shit to everybody. And then come April, when we got the new coach, right? And now it's the new coach and new staff, new philosophy. He's got to get rid of a lot of guys, and he still can't get no quarterback. Now that's a great way to start the new regime, right? Like what an amazing way to start the new regime when everybody in the world, everybody and their mama knows that we need a quarterback, right? Everybody knows. But even so, we're going to give this new coach nothing. Figure it out. Figure it the fuck out. And we're going to keep Tom Telesco to then give him the groceries. I'm not saying Tom Telesco is doing a terrible job, but it's just like, it just makes no sense, right? And this is where I will back up my claim to say, and some of you can disagree. It is what it is, bro. Frankly, I don't care because at the end of the day, we have no control over what's happening because once again, the shit is wishy-washy. So the win only makes sense to me if you keep AP because then you can chalk it up and try to sell it on a culture win, right? You can sell it. Now, I'm not saying we'll buy it, right? Just because the motherfucker's selling it don't mean we got to buy the shit. But still, right, if you're going to go ahead and go forward with that, you could chalk this up and saying, bro, this culture, right? All right, bro, we're doing something. You got to win a game. You know, if AP stays, you could probably bank on some players returning, right? Some players coming back that probably would not come back if there is a new head coaching staff and regime, right? So from there, you got to sit there and say, all right, well, we could chalk that up as our players elevating their games, players getting better as the season goes on. You know what I mean? Now, when we get these, you know, hurt players back, we can now start assimilating all that culture that we brought from the young guys that got this playing time this year, right? All right. They learned that A lot of lumps taken, but we got some wins. We learned how to win, even though the team is shitty, but we learned how to win. It is what it is, okay? And then we go into next year with our veterans and these young players. They got a lot of time, a lot of playing time. Now we can go into next year and say, all right, man, some of you young players that maybe you're not starters, you weren't starters to slot it out, but you're going to be real good depth going forward, right? Because you've been in positions, you've done this, you took your lumps, but we've won games. So you can sell me on that, bro, right? Like it just makes sense because now you can say, all right, well, culture win. We're throughout the building, bro. We're just going to stick to it. It is what it is, man. Head to the grindstone, right? Nose to the grindstone. That's just what we're going to do. Now, but if you give me a new coach, then this shit don't make sense to me. It just don't make sense. Right now, I know you're probably not sitting there. Yeah. People are in the comments. Well, he's not going to sit there and deliberately tell his coach to lose. Well, shit, before I'll say this. I want very, very telling that before the owners meeting, right? Before somebody came out their mouth and said, hey, these two dudes aren't mutually exclusive with their jobs. The GM, the coach, they will be evaluated separately, right? Before that, she was quiet. She was cool. I'm not going to lie to you, bro. The losing was there, but the smiles was there too, right? The smiles was there too. Now notice. Ain't no smiling no more. A lot of one-word answers a little bit. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, and we'll leave it at there. But there's a definite reason for that. So it's very frustrating, in my opinion, if we go on with no reputable plan. And speaking of plan, right? Speaking of goddamn plan, I don't know if this is on here, but we're gonna go ahead and speak about something that was said earlier on in the week. And let me see if I can go ahead and find it. Right. And while we're doing that, make sure you guys are tapping on the like button, tapping on the subscribe button. It's always a pleasure when we live, man. But sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. Out there, I'm out here moving and grooving and shaking in the holidays, man. So you already know how I do when it comes to this. But let me go ahead and pull this up, man. As we go on to Twitter, right? The Twitter sphere. Very, very funny thing that happened over this little Christmas weekend, right? Max Crosby came out and said something, and definitely want to get people's opinions on this. So let's go ahead and share the screen, and let's hear what Max Crosby had to say.
Consistency, you know what I mean? It's new coaches every other year, and this and that, and new teammates. And there's been plenty of times where I'm like, damn, like this D line is cold, and then I come back and every single one of them's gone. You know what I mean? And it's like, what the, you know what I mean? And then it just there's on and on and on. There's a lot of things, so it's just like it's tough, bro. Because I feel for Miles because he's in that same boat.
And let's see this in that last clip.
Track situation, like I have no more guaranteed money. There's a lot of different things. Like obviously, there's gonna be a lot of things that need to be talked about, and I'm looking forward to those conversations. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Like I'm really looking forward to this offseason, the process, and I will say, like on top of it, like the Raider fans have been dope, and I love them to death. Like that's one thing through everything. Like the fans have truly since day one like embraced me and being in their corner, and I think it's been the dopest shit. Like even with my injuries and all the shit, like the support has been like the coolest shit ever. And so yeah, there's so many different things that got to be talked about. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Years of inconsistency.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%. And that's so that had the nation in the uproar, right? Over Twitter, or, if you're on Facebook, you probably saw that. If you're on Instagram, you probably saw that. Whatever the case, but it had the nation in the uproar, man. And my 2 cents on the thing, bro. First of all, shame on some of y'all. Fucking shame on some of y'all. The way y'all switch and flip, man. I don't know. Hey, I don't be getting in nobody personal lives, but some of y'all personal lives gotta be hectic as fuck. The way y'all flip on these players, right? The way y'all flip flop and do all this shit to these players, you gotta be doing it in your regular life, bro. And the shit's a sickness. You gotta stop the shit. Just 2 weeks ago, bro, some of y'all was over there. Oh man, Max, hey, I hope you recover good on your ankle surgery and well wishes, man. You're a real Raider for life and all that. Just to come out your thick ass mouth 2 weeks later, just to sit there and say the man can get traded. You don't care if he leaves? Type of bullshit are y'all on, bro? Some of y'all need to check yourselves in the mirror, right? Because when these athletes talk about not wanting to really talk to fans and collaborate and do certain shit with fans, some of y'all motherfuckers is why, right? You feel what I'm saying? Like some of y'all is fucking it up for the rest of us. Y'all fucking it up for the real ones. So I'm gonna be real with you, bro. Like some of y'all really need to check yourself in the mirror. And I understand shit is hard, right? But y'all get fucking emotional over this shit. And of course, I get emotional. But when it comes to these players, bro, like there's when it comes to this organization and these players, there's little we can say. Now, let's go to the big one. He advocated for AP. He was the one that wanted AP here. He was the one that said if he don't get AP, he'll be traded. Let's talk about that. What if his problem's not really with AP to fucking begin with? Let's talk about that, right? Like what if even through 3 and something, he's still cool with AP being the head coach? What if that's a thought? Unfathomable to some of you, right? It can't be so. No fucking way Max Crosby can still like AP. That's your assumption. And you know what they say when you assume, right? To make an ass out of you and me. So let's stop doing that shit, because what if that's not a thing? And I'm assuming too, a little bit, just a tad. But we're so quick to judge, right? We so quick to judge from the outside looking in. We don't have all the information. We have zero information. To me, bro, what if he's not talking about AP? What if his problem is just organizationally from the jump? Right? Like, there's no fucking plan. What have we been talking about this whole episode? Damn near. What's the main point of it all? It's wishy-washy. There's no plan. Where the fuck is the long-term solution? The man's been in the goddamn league for 7 years, bro. 10 is creeping very, very quick. Ain't no time to fuck around. I'm gonna just be real with you, dog. There's no time to fuck around, because then you look up, the career is damn near done, and now we on the fringe gold jacket shit, right? Now we all gotta fucking argue years later of how great Max Crosby was because we didn't win shit, but we gotta argue on his fucking behalf for him to get in any awards or Hall of Fame shit. Come on, dog. It's 7 years, right? What if the problem's not with the coach? It's with the tippy top. And we've been talking about it the whole goddamn episode, bro. And to be honest, none of you should have a problem if that's the problem. Because I know some of you, it is unfathomable that he can still like AP. There's no way. Just because you don't like AP, you hate AP, Max should feel the same way. No. Newsflash, right? He's not gonna feel that the same way. He might not like AP, but then again, you know, I ain't heard too much turmoil from him when it came to that subject. When it's come to the coaching subject, yeah, he says some things that said we're wasting time, we're doing all that, but that could be AP as well. That is more than likely it is AP. When you talk about wasting time, because you're talking about the coach and the head coach making the schedule, but that's the only really thing that he said, to be honest with you. And that's maybe it could be more directed to some positional coaches as well, right? But still, that's really the only thing he said. When it's come to the coaching thing, he's not really too worried about AP. And as you see, the effort is still the same thing. I'm still the proprietor of saying, if we're going to talk about Josh McDaniels and that effort we saw, there's no way you can discount effort now. So, once again, organizationally, from the top, what's the fucking plan? Right? Like, what are we doing? Because now we're winning games. Okay? Because I'm just saying, bro, you gotta, everything must be laid out on the table. Right? You heard he talked about he got no guaranteed money. To me, the conversations, now this is something I do not know, but the conversations to me are going to go something like this. Hey, I ain't got no guaranteed money left. We winning games now. All right? When we talking about in this little draft order, you talking about firing the coach. What are we doing? What are we doing going forward? Are you keeping AP or are you not keeping AP? If you're getting a new coach, who the fuck is the new coach? We need a quarterback, and I know you know that, right? I'm Max. I'm talking to y'all. Y'all are Mark. We need a quarterback. We both know that. So what's the plan there, right? Because some of these plugs and stopgaps that you're trying to give us, it ain't going to work, bro. It's not going to, as you see, the division is not going to take that unless you get a top-notch play caller. And I know some of you like Sam Darnold, but unless Sam Darnold brings Kevin O'Connell and Justin Jefferson, I don't know if it's going to look the same. I'm going to just be real with you. I don't know if it's going to look the same. So what are we doing? What's the solution here? Are we going to take a swing? Are we trading assets that, both of us kind of know we still need a tad, right? When we talk about trading picks and shit like that. So it's a lot that you're going to have to talk about. There's a lot because, like I said, now you look up, you in year 7, you look up, it's year 10, 11. God damn. Right? Now it's like, what have I been doing with my career? You have to really think about these things, bro. It's the same shit like us with our jobs, right? None of us want to be in no dead-end ass job for 7-10 years with no hope of seeing the peak, right? Maybe to us, that peak is being able to get that promotion, get that goddamn, or being able to, not work as many hours because you didn't put so many hours. Like, for example, right? I don't want to work too many hours at this other job because I'm trying to do this shit full time, but I got to put in that work. But it's like, if this shit is dead end, if I was doing this for 2 years and I still only had 100 subscribers, well, at that point, dog, like, you feel me? Like, it's like, I gotta rethink. I gotta rethink what the fuck I'm doing. So I don't know. I didn't have too much of a problem with it, in my opinion. I know some of y'all in the comments might have a problem with what he said, because you're still stuck on the fact that AP is the coach. He wanted AP, blah, blah, blah. But once again, bro, take that out your mind, right? Rewire your brain, because the record could be bad, but, that doesn't mean you're going to hate a motherfucker. There are factors. There are different factors, and there are understandable factors as well. That the players understand with their coach. I'm just be real. There's understandable factors. So going into some happy news real quick. Got to get ready to get on out of here, man. We about to, you boys going to the movies tonight. Tonight. When y'all watch this, I done already went. But either way, man, I'm very excited. You boy be happy, man. It's a movie I'm ready to go watch, man. I'm about to go watch that Nosferatu. So if any of y'all tapped in or going to tap in, next time you see me live, I will have my review and opinion. So make sure y'all tap in for that. But cool news, man. Then we getting ready to get on out of here, man. We got Isaiah Palamau, right? Isaiah Palamau. He was named the defensive AFC Player of the Week, right? Defensive Player of the Week. Had 2 forced fumbles and 9 tackles in week 16. Very happy to see this, bro. A guy that I talked up hella in the offseason. I really wanted to see Isaiah Palamau get some things. It's funny how football works, though, because in the offseason, when I was talking up Palamau, I was talking him up to replace Trayvon Merrick, right? I really was, because they was playing Trayvon in that little center fielder kind of thing, and I don't think, Trayvon really adapted there. And as Epps, went down, and prayers to Epps, but it's funny now you have to move Merrick to kind of that box safety role, and he's thrived. Right, which I didn't think was going to happen. I didn't know that was possible. So now seeing Merrick the way he's playing in the box safety, and now, you seeing the ascension of Palamau, man, it's very, very beautiful. And it's funny how football works, right? You over there, you're talking about replacing one guy with another guy, but maybe it's just the scheme and just where they're playing, right? Just goes to show you, once again, Trayvon Merrick is a perfect example to me that shows, like, it more times than not, it's about the position you're putting the player, right? Now, there are times where it's the other way around, but Trayvon Merrick is a perfect example where it's like the positions you put the players are, that's what's going to greatly impact their performance. So I'm happy that everybody's finding their stride and we're getting there. So let's go ahead. Let's touch on the Saints real quick and what we have for an injury report. We're going to go ahead and do that. And then we're going to go ahead and get into our final rundown. So you already know, real quick, we're going to get into the next segment, which is Yes, sir. Getting into the injury report as we always do. Usually we do it on a Wednesday, but it seems that probably releasing this video on Friday or Saturday, either one. But seems as though right we gonna be doing it late. So today is a Thursday. So I'm gonna go ahead and read you the practice report from the Thursday. You looking at us? We got Kanai Malga, Jordan Meredith, who did not part both days, which is he's probably not playing, to be honest with you. Jackson Powers Johnson, he was limited both days, so he's probably playing. Dylan Lauby did not part, today. So interesting. And Kaylavon Chason with his foot, he was full, so that was cool. So he probably is playing. But you look at the Saints, man, a lot of key guys, right? Derek Carr out, Alvin Kamara out, Eric McCoy out, Lucas Patrick out. Chris Olave is back, I believe. So that's good for them. Good for us if you're rooting on the Tank. But yeah, he's back. Valdez Scantling is back as well. So good for them. Peyton Turner, Jawan Johnson is back, and then a lot of these other guys, Nathan Shepard, Peyton Turner, all these guys are limited, looking like they will play. So lengthy injury report for them. If they don't get Derek Carr back, that would be interesting. Now we gotta, watch Rattler. And what I saw from Rattler was very bad the other day, bro. It was terrible. So I'm very nervous because our defense, let's be honest with ourselves, bro. Yes, we're 3 and something, but the defense has not played terrible, right? They have not played terrible. We've been causing some pressure now. We've been causing some havoc back there. Even with some of these quarterbacks that Baker Mayfield and some of these quarterbacks that we've played, bro. Kirk Cousins, we made Kirk Cousins. I mean, Kirk Cousins been playing like garbage for the past couple weeks. But either way, right, still made him look a little timid. We've been getting back there, bro. We've been getting back there. Mac Jones, we was on his ass a little bit. So there are things we can do this week that will disrupt that Saints game, right? Like if we disrupt the running game, it's a wrap. But really what teams need to do is run the ball against us because we're terrible against the run right now. We really are. And I venture to say that if the Jaguars ran the ball more last week, they probably would have won that game. But seeing as though their game plan was different, right? We're better against the pass right now than we are against the run. When we pin our ears back, bro, we're deadly. So when we're talking about all that, man, we're getting into it. So let's go ahead and let's get into the final rundown, man. Go ahead and get ready to go on out of here. This is where we wrap everything up in a nice silver and black bow, and we go ahead and explain what this week means and what it means for the future. For the future, very, very, very high implications. What are we going to be able to do this week? Really, I mean, if you're rooting for the quarterback, you want a loss. Let's just be real. You want a loss because then that still keeps us in the hunt. If you win, then, you start talking about some other key players, BPA, that you can go at that point. So let's just keep it a bean. But like we were saying, if we disrupt the Saints running game, it'll be a long day for them. Because when we pin our ears back, we're way better defense. We've been getting real stout. Kaylavon Chason coming with some pressure. Lualu coming in there, doing his thing. Tyree Wilson's been causing some pressure as well, just a little bit. So, I mean, we're getting in there, right? But if teams run the ball against us, that's a little better formula for a win. So talking about all that, let's see what goes down there. On the offensive side of the ball, their defense is better than the Jaguars' defense, in my opinion. Right? Their defense is better than the Jaguars' defense. So there's not going to be too many chances for us to, play lackadaisical football. A turnover could happen. We got to try to run the ball, but last week, without McCormick, it reared its ugly head again that we could not run the ball. And if Meredith is not playing, right, and I didn't see Cam Jordan on there. If Meredith is not playing, then it's probably going to be ugly inside, right? It's probably going to be ugly inside when you're talking about Andre James and you're talking about, Dylan Parham in at the same time. They'll be able to put some strength on there and be able to disrupt what we're trying to do in the run game. Because it reared its ugly head last week. When Madison, had the majority of the carries, bro, we averaged 2 yards. So there's that. They'll try to get at Aiden this week. They'll try to blitz Aiden this week. and really try to get to him. I would, because that's the only time to really make him uncomfortable. He moved real well last week. Moved real well. But if I'm the Saints, I'm going to test that out again. I'm going to think that's an outlier, the way that Aiden was moving last week. And I'm going to say, hey, we're going to go. We're going to go get him. And we're going to blitz him this week. So, we'll see what they do there. Scary game. I'm not predicting who wins or loses, but it can go either way. I'm going to be real with you. It can go either way. So, be ready for whatever outcome. At this point, I'm prepared for whatever, right? I'm prepared for whatever outcome at this point. But make sure you guys are tapping on the like, tapping on the subscribe button. Make sure you guys are tapping in with the schedule. And what we got going on. We back to regular programming next week as far as our State of the Nation show on Tuesday, Raider Rundown back on Wednesday, and then we got Turf and Rundown Friday. So regular scheduled programming coming on next week. Make sure you guys are tapping in with that. Until then, love y'all. Make sure y'all had a great Christmas. Be safe over this holiday weekend. Watch some good football. And, of course, I'll be back Sunday as well. We will be doing something on Sunday. So I'll probably release this video on Saturday. Until then, make sure you guys are doing the right thing. I'm about to go ahead and get on out of here, right? Until then, you already know what time it is. We keep it authentic from the clouds to the ground here on the Raider Rundown. Peace. See y'all later.
I need a bad bitch with an accent. Serving in peace, still taxing. Just got tapped for the young cash app. Moonwalking like a young Mike Jackson. Yeah, shots to the head. Ride clean and it's still fuck feds. Realest nigga and it's on my kids. So who the fuck gon' wanna test me, bitch?